If you have come here to learn who Durlin is, you are in the right place. Welcome God of War fans, my name is Shayne Static, and today we're going to be taking a look at Durlin, one of the new characters debuting in God of War Ragnarok. So we're going to be taking a look at Durlin in Norse mythology, we're going to be taking a look at his character art, and at the end I'm going to give you a couple of theories of who I think Durlin is and how he's going to play in God of War Ragnarok. And if you're excited about God of War Ragnarok as much as I am, please hit the like button. Okay, here we go. So, who is Durlin in Norse mythology? Well, to be honest, Durlin doesn't really show up in Norse mythology. Well, at least of what I have found. But there are a couple of other dwarves and a couple of other names that come up in Norse mythology that I think make a lot of sense for the Durlin character in God of War Ragnarok. And those names are Durin and Devlin. At least that's how I think it's pronounced. It's going to be right here. Some of my Scandian friends out there, help me out. So these stories are going to play a pretty big part in my theory, so stay tuned. Okay, so Devlin is a dwarf in Norse mythology. Okay, off to a good start. So Devlin shows up in a couple of pretty cool stories between the prose and poetic Eddas. In one story, actually in the Havamal, Devlin is actually the dwarf who brings runes and rune writings to the dwarves. Kind of like how Odin brought the runes and rune writings to the gods. Devlin is also one of the 4 dwarves who actually made Freya's necklace, actually called Bringsamen, and the power of it actually makes the wearer irresistible to others. I'm not going to go over how Freya had to get the necklace from the dwarves, you can do that research on your own time. Okay, those are just a couple of really cool short stories, but these next couple are actually very important to my theories later on, and could be very important in God of War Ragnarok as well. So Devlin is the name of one of the 4 deer who actually eat along the roots of the world tree Yggdrasil. So this could be kind of like a nod to that deer statue we actually see in God of War 2018, but only time really will tell, and this is just speculation. So more importantly, Devlin and Durin actually create the very indestructible sword called Tyrfing, which I have also seen it called Dainsleif. So this is a sword that can never rust. It cuts through anything like it was cloth, and every time it is wielded or pulled out of its sheath, someone has to die. Okay, this is an amazing weapon I definitely want to see in God of War Ragnarok, but only time will tell, but I really hope it's in there. And lastly, Devlin's drink is actually a thing in Norse mythology. So Devlin's drink, or as I've seen it called by many different names, is actually mead created by the dwarves, and whoever drinks it becomes a scholar and or a poet or skald as they were called back in the day. Funny thing is though, Odin actually stole this mead, so this mead might be very powerful and could hold some hidden secrets, and maybe we'll come across it in God of War Ragnarok. So personally, I think Devlin and Durin were combined, and the result is Durlin for God of War Ragnarok. Okay, now let's check out Durlin's character art. But before we do, did anyone else notice the 2 Jormungandrs on the book that's right in front of him in the God of War Ragnarok trailer, along with Brock and Sindri's symbol? So right quick, I just wanted to bring up Raised Energy by Rep Sports. I am an ambassador for the brand, and to be completely honest, I really do love their stuff, especially their energy drinks, which have 0 sugars, 0 carbs, 0 artificial dyes, and there is absolutely no crash whatsoever. Have you ever had an energy drink and after you're just jittery and still can't focus on what you're doing? Well, my favorite part about Raise is that it does not give you the jitters, but makes you focus and controlled. You have the energy you are looking for and the mental focus that most energy drinks lack pretty hard. Actually, as we speak, I'm actually drinking a Galaxy Burst, and it tastes friggin' awesome. And I love all their other products too, like their pre-workout, because I'm getting a little chunky, but that's besides the point. Their Raise on the go if I don't want a carbonated beverage. Their sleep formula, which is awesome because I don't sleep very well pretty much my entire life, and it helps me really get the sleep. So if you'd like to try some for yourself, there's a link in the description to Rep Sports page. But how about save some money as well? At checkout, use my promo code SHAYNE, SHAYNE, and save 15% off your total purchase. So give Raise a try when you're looking for that kick in your ass, whether you are an athlete, a gamer, or just someone to look to wake up in the morning or get through the rest of your day. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so first off, I really dig his character art. I think it looks great. It's well put together. I really like the scars on his head right underneath his cap. I thought that was a really cool touch. But there are some pretty cool things that I noticed that actually lead me to links in Norse mythology and what could happen in God of War Ragnarok. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about Durlin, his little squid, octopus, whatever guy called Dinner, and I absolutely love the name. I thought it was hilarious. But look really closely at Dinner. What is he holding? A key. So what is this key for? I'm not very sure, but I have kind of a little theory about this. Take a really close look at the end of it. There is a Norse rune that's actually called an Ewaz, or at least that's how I think it's pronounced. But the Ewaz actually literally means horse and can be related to trust, partnership, friendship, stuff like that. So what does this mean? I am actually going to have a theory about this all together for another day, including dinner itself. So stay tuned and hold on for that one. So the next thing that I noticed about Durlin is actually the horns on the scrolls on his waist. So this might mean that Durlin was actually the one that actually wrote all the scrolls that we had to find around the Lake of Nine. You remember that? Like the little hidden treasures and stuff. So I kind of think that maybe it was written by Durlin, but also the horns on it, it actually might be referenced back to the deers that eat around the roots of Yggdrasil. It might very well be. We'll have to wait and see. So the next thing that I noticed actually are his flasks and his bottles. So why is this a big deal? I mean, he writes scrolls. It could be ink. It could be any of this stuff. He actually might get his ink from the squid octopus boy. But I think at least his flask could be related to the mead of poetry. So this might come in handy down the road when we're trying to figure out new runes, different spellings. Atreus is coming into his godhood. It might need it to unsolve some cool puzzles or such, or it might hold some prophecies that might help us throughout our journey. So the last thing that I saw on Durlin that got me very excited is this. What does that look like to you? So this looks exactly like an omega symbol. Yes, the omega symbol from Greece mythology. And you know what the best part about it is? Kratos has worn one the entire time in Norse mythology. Right here. This is the same thing that holds the Leviathan axe. So did Durlin make it for him? Or does Durlin have some type of connection to Greek mythology? I'm really excited about this one. This one is very exciting to me because this actually might confirm that we might be going back to Greece. I'm not so sure yet though, but I am very excited to see Durlin in God of War Ragnarok. So we've looked at Durlin's mythology. We looked at Durlin's character. Let's get into some theories. So my first crazy theory is Durlin is Odin in disguise. So this was kind of my first thought as soon as I saw Durlin. It also might be me really wanting Odin in disguise, especially since he did that a lot in Norse mythology. One thing that kind of makes me lean on this is actually his monocle. So Odin only has one eye because he gave one eye up to have a drink from Mimir's well to gain super knowledge, but we know that Mimir just super drugged him with a ton of magic mushrooms until he ripped it out of his face. But anyway, this monocle might be a hint that it is Odin, and it actually kind of blocks his eye a little bit, kind of fuzzes it over. It's hard to see that other eye, so maybe it's just covering up that he doesn't have a second one. Also, let's get back to dinner and the key and everything. So the Ewaz rune on the key could very well be the key to the stables of Sleipnir, Odin's 8-legged horse. So this is just one of my theories, and I know it's pretty crazy, but you never know what's going to happen with those geniuses over in Sony Santa Monica. Okay, my second crazy theory is Durlin is Brock and Sindri's father. Okay, this one might be just as crazy, but hear me out. So I think this because we do see Brock and Sindri's symbol on a book in front of Durlin during the God of War Ragnarok trailer. So the symbol Brock and Sindri are using could be a heritage symbol, kind of like a coat of arms or something like that, just their own personal spin on it. Also, Durin, not Durlin, Durin, in Norse mythology was actually the second dwarf ever created, so this very well might be possible they're playing off Norse mythology. And more than likely, Durin is going to help us down the road in God of War Ragnarok. And I just want him to give us that freaking sword that's indestructible. I want the sword. He can be whoever he wants, just give me the sword. But you know what? One thing really does bug me still. The Omega symbol. Does Durlin have ties to Greece? Maybe he's a Greek god in disguise. Me and my damn disguises. What do you guys think? Who do you think Durlin is? And what do you think about the Omega symbol? What does it symbolize? Tell me in the comments down below, and let's discuss it. My name is Shayne Static, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.